Hi, I'm Victoria Cobb, president of the Family Foundation, here with a little election update. No doubt by now you've been watching the news and maybe hopefully not spending too much time on Twitter, but all the pollsters and the pundits and everybody are talking about all of the results from yesterday's election. And I just want to start with, there's still a lot we don't know, and you've probably heard that. The balance of power for the U.S. Representative House and for the Senate is actually still up for grabs. And so we're waiting on several races. So I hope you're still faithfully praying, because ballots are still being counted, ballots are still coming in through the mail, particularly in certain places. So be prayerful about those races, because we really would love to see a majority that is a pro-family majority in both of those bodies to really put up a block against some of the liberal administration policies that are being put forward and to prevent some of the things that we've been seeing attempted in Congress recently. So pray about that. I want to mention, though, another thing that happened around the country, which is that there were 5 states that had proposals dealing with the issue of human life and abortion that were actually on the ballot. So when people showed up at the poll, they didn't just vote for candidates, they also voted for something having to do with human life. Some cases were constitutional amendments, some were other types of things. But the bottom line is we're very disappointed to report that we believe in all 5 cases, it looks like the effort to protect human life failed. And so that's a matter of prayer. I don't want you to be discouraged. So the media is going to tell you that this whole election was about abortion, and that all these ballot initiatives failed, and therefore, you know, we're meant to be a pro-choice America, or whatever you're going to hear. Don't believe that. Just understand this. We had a historic landmark decision in the Dobbs decision. I mean, something that we've been praying for and working for generations. But the reality is that that doesn't change thinking overnight. This is a country where we've had, I mean, literally about 50 years of legalized abortion. What does that mean? That means all these generations have been in our country with nothing other than abortion. And so they've been taught a lie. And we have to unteach that. We have to help train people differently, help them think differently. And that's not going to happen overnight. And so we just have to view this as a marathon still, not a sprint. And that's what we saw in these states. So there's work to be done there, but I'm not discouraged. I do believe more and more people are becoming pro-life every day. And I think we're seeing that in a lot of ways. So don't let that make you feel a little bit discouraged about what happened yesterday. The last thing I want to mention is just to specifically kind of give you the update on Virginia. What happened with our specific races, what we had on our ballot. So a lot of the incumbents went back exactly as planned. There were 3 races that we were really focused on where we might shift parties that are representing us. And for Family Foundation, our goal is to shift the ideology. We want to have pro-life, pro-family representatives. And so the 3 we were watching, the first one is the 2nd, and that is the congressional district that is out on the eastern side towards Tidewater. It's, you know, Virginia Beach and such. And we were really excited because we're going to replace a really liberal vote with a more conservative vote. So Jen Kiggins will be the new congresswoman from there, and she has been solidly pro-life while she's been in the state Senate. So that's a big gain, and we should be rejoicing in that. Now, the 7th is the one that we were focused on at the Family Foundation Action. Our sister organization did a lot of work with voters to try to help them understand what was on the ballot as far as who these candidates were, and really think about the issues and how they need to be voting. They actually contacted 132,000 Virginians that are inside that 7th congressional district to try to help them make the right decision at the ballot box. We knew the race was going to be razor thin. That's why we picked it. That's why we were working there. And it did turn out to be a very close margin. Unfortunately, Representative Spanberger will go back to Congress and unfortunately likely be a continued vote for the pro-abortion side and the just somebody that doesn't understand the value of marriage and some of those things. So we're disappointed in the outcome, but we focused on the right race and we put a lot of work in. We just came up short. And honestly, we came up short on our resources to be able to do all the things that we would have liked to have done there. So it's a lesson as we move forward that we're just going to have to resource better and work as hard or harder as we move forward. And then the last district I'll just mention is Congress District 10. That's even further towards Northern Virginia. So the 7th is sort of, you know, up to Prince William, but the 10th is even like Loudoun County and some of that. Northern Virginia is just still a real problem for conservative voting. We just don't find enough conservatives at the ballot box. Hung Cao was an awesome candidate. He came really close and would have been a solid pro-life, pro-religious freedom kind of guy. But his coming close just didn't quite get over the bar over the threshold of getting a majority of the vote. So we are sending back Congresswoman Wexton. She's been a bad vote for us. That's not terribly unexpected. This was an incredibly demographically tough district to win. So the fact that we came close, really think about it, that was a Biden 18 district. So it went for Biden, you know, that's what the demographics was. And really this came down to a couple percentage points between the two candidates. So think about that as a positive way to look at the 10th. We made a lot of movement from a group that wanted to vote for Biden overwhelmingly to a group that really very narrowly supported the pro-abortion Congresswoman Wexton. So there's a little recap for you. And again, we're just hoping and praying that these next couple of days, as votes shake out in these extra couple of tight races nationally, we just are hoping and praying that they go the right way so that we can advance some pro-family legislation. So with that, I'll leave you to the rest of your day.